Hello everyone, this is Dandy Dragon, and once again I am joined by Jarin for another I want to say Team FFA, team game.
It's yeah, just a team game. No free for all.
No,
Just some good old fashioned 2-on-2 ultra violence.
it's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. You ready?
Yes.
Oh, excuse me. My throat's feeling a
No.
little ticklish today. Ready to get started?
Yep, let's go.
All right. Now, when we saw this matchup, the first thing we thought is, man, they're gonna probably go like 2 TC boom. And I'm like, okay, that's like with English, and then HRE obviously will fast castle. I make the grand mistake of forgetting what map I was on, and I just lose
Mhm.
like 4 sheep for no reason. Um,
Oh, oh no.
yeah,
See, that's why you should play. That's why you should play a Muslim civ. They don't care too much about sheep.
it's true.
Like Abba, Delhi, Ayubid, they just go for the berries.
Can you believe this, guys? He's trying to convert me every time we do any recording these days. Just
It's
trying to
true.
make me into an Abbasid player, an Ayyubid player, maybe even Delhi or something, you know? But that's
You
not what.
should you should main Delhi, 100%.
With the Ghazi Raiders, yeah. But
Yep.
while we thought that English would be 2 TC and HRE would be going fast castle, we decided the best course of action is probably to boom as well, due to the fact that if you try to go aggro on 2 Cs, that can go very defensive and feudal, and if you mess up any of your aggression at all, you are actually likely to lose. So we decided to go ahead. I was going to go Chamber of Commerce. Which wing did you go for again, Jaren?
I went for the Bazaar wing.
Yeah,
Like
whichever.
that's in a non-FFA format, I generally prefer opening up with the Trade Wing Bazaar, just because I like being able to have the um, flexibility that the Bazaar offers. Like it's not, it is obviously random, which is why it's also called the Casino Wing, but like just being able to turn extra gold into military or into a fast second or third town center with the stone purchases, or getting more traders out, like very nice for early.
Man, I really messed up my scouting today. I missed 2 sheep between the two of us. I messed up getting those 4 over there. I missed like 6, 7 sheep.
Damn,
I'm goofing up today, man, or that day. This has
just
been
a little
recorded
bit blind.
afterwards. This was recorded afterwards, guys. I'm
It
not
was.
yet ready to
We are
live
not
stream.
casting this live.
No, I can't do it. I'm not good enough. I'm
That
not.
would, like, I need all 5 of my APM focused on the video game. I can't spare even one of my 3 brain cells to
Literally,
talk about the video game while playing.
it's very true. I'm a very slow player. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I rely on shift clicks. Like
Hmm.
I'm not someone that can handle a lot of stuff very easily. Not because I'm bad at the game. It's just I don't have quick hands. So yeah, this was a very gutsy move by me. I lost about 20, like 15, 20 seconds just walking Bills over to the south corner to get up my market. The idea being that if I can get cross map trade, getting like 80, 100 resources each way, then I should be able to boom so heavily that I can just kind of overwhelm any blobs that my opponent makes.
Yep.
Now,
So we'll see
obviously,
if that pays off.
yeah, we'll see if that risk will get rewarded. Life
Hmm.
doesn't like to usually reward me for much, so I take what I can get where I can get it.
Damn.
Now, a big part of
Damn.
this is knowing that I need vills on wood to get my stables up, because I do need to get harass off if I can, because if one knight can get 2 vill kills, that will put me so far ahead, even if they go 2 TC, that it's not even funny. So gotta get all the resources I need. Gotta get, but I also gotta get stuff like mining camps and mills, so I don't slow down my economy. So it's a very big early investment.
Yep. Meanwhile, I'm shifting my economy around to try to be able to afford a second town center as quick as possible. I missed out on some. I had some idle TC time because I didn't have sheep when I needed some. Um, but right now you can see I've got 6 vills on gold to be able to quickly afford um, the bazaar wing.
Yeah. You can buy stone 175 for
Any
150.
like you can, yeah. So I've already bought one. I've already done one exchange, so I'm at 175. As soon as I get another 150 gold, I'm gonna buy another one, and then I'm gonna drop a second town center. As soon as I get the wood. I also grabbed the 2 Bedouin swordsmen because my opponent is like my cross map opponent is the HRE, so I need to make sure that he doesn't do much damage if he decides to send an early men-at-arm harass.
Yep. On top of that, we also know English likes to make spears because of knights, and a Bedouin swordsman will 100% beat down a hardened spearman. And this is where my decision backfired on me a small little bit. My opponent went for all-in feudal harass and not 2 TC,
Yeah.
which I was not prepared for. Heck, is that
Fortunately, I did have those 2 Bedouin swordsmen, so I will soon be sending them over. Not really recognizing the longbows.
well? We saw the
So,
longbows. We thought it was one longbow,
mhm.
not two.
You are overestimating my situational awareness.
Yeah. I'll say, we neither one of us are pro level players. We do make mistakes. We make mistakes all the time, and you know what? That's okay. It is what it is.
Yep, you'll see me. I think I lose both of my Bedouins here.
Yeah.
Like there goes one. Okay, I do. Oh yeah, he has like 3 hit points left, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
At that point,
So
probably just trying to finish off the hardened spearman would have been the best decision once that was already committed. But honestly, the true best decision that could have been made would have been that waiting till the knight came out to support. But him doing what he did also just kept the opponents off me long enough that I was able to get a bit of gold going.
yep.
Which,
So you can also see on my end, I just now got a second town center. Um, I was able to use the Bazaar Wing to buy wood with the gold, which allowed me to, with the 350 stone that I had already bought, like I was able to get a very quick second TC up and running,
yeah,
which is going to help quite a lot for the eco. And while I was talking about eco boom, I was also able to grab 2 traders for from the Bazaar Wing, and
yeah,
this is why I like the Bazaar Wing. It's not consistent, so you do need to, um, you know, be prepared to not get exactly what you need when you need it. Um,
pray to the
but
Dark
when
Lord
you
Cthulhu occasionally too. That helps.
exactly, but this time I've got 2 trader options, so I'll be able to get 4 traders extremely quickly and without the need to invest any um,
Yeah.
wood into a market.
Yeah. And here in the south, I'm taking this fight that I normally would not want to because of the spears. Not because I need to take that fight, but because, or not, I don't need to like kill those spears specifically, but I needed to get gold income. So knowing that people make mistakes, I relied on the fact that he would focus on killing the knights and ignore my traders. So I was able to sneak 2 traders past him and my first trader earlier without losing any of them, which is a huge boon this early in the game. Just getting like, despite losing all those, despite losing a couple knights, I'm able to get out some gold so I can get my upgrades, which I desperately needed at this point in the game. And I will continue getting more knights out. And at this point, you come in to support me with just a few archers. because you see
Yep.
your opponents coming in with spears, so you need to pull your camels back to scoot and shoot those. And your archers just kind of helping me, like, just kind of take out a few of these spears and push my opponent's micro. But all this
Yeah. Well, not
fighting,
only that, but like I had seen my opponent send some like something over there. Like I can see him sending some troops rallied over to my position, which is part of why I pulled my camel riders back.
yeah,
Um, yep.
that's what I was
But
saying.
he's got Castle H men at arms now, so I'm gonna have to do some scoot and shooting, which I'm not the best at micro, so I'm gonna lose a lot of the Desert Raiders. Looks like I might lose. Yeah, I lose all of them. If I was able to have higher APM, I could have easily kited the spears and men at arms and just killed them, by scoot and shooting. Uh, I do not have the APM for that. Like I am not a fast enough player to really do that. So,
Yeah.
so I don't.
Yep. And hey, and then there is different levels of players, different skill sets. That's okay. We at this point though, luckily, Jarin was able to support me enough that I was able to win that fight, which means I'm able to send knights out to go harass. Accidentally grabbed a Deville with my knights, once again wasting more eco.
Nice.
And at this point, I'm getting mass archers, not because archers are, you know, super strong, quote unquote, but because a blob of archers will beat what my opponent is making far better than mass knights. And it's far cheaper. So if my opponent makes like 5 spearmen, I'm going to be able to... Oh, yeah, and I lose that knight because I'm a fool of a took. I do manage to save the scout, though, so little victories. I do see my opponent has started to push me off my berries, so I just switch over to deer, which is... And while this is happening, I'm going to get a bunch of Vil kills over here on red. I do mess up by not getting my charge. I could have gotten another like 3 or 4 Vil kills if I had done that. So that's an important thing to make sure you don't mess up. And through all that, I'm going to just keep idling my opponent, knowing that Jarin was struggling with red a little bit, or at least a little bit earlier.
Fortunately, the Desert Raiders are decent against men at arms. You can see they're not great, but they have 5 melee armor by default.
Yeah, so they can tank these early fights.
They can hold
bit.
out for a decent. Yeah, and they have decent damage as well. 13 damage. They're not gonna do anywhere near the amount of damage that I need them to, but I only have 2 archery ranges right now, so better than nothing.
And the good positive with this is that the harass not only kept him out of Jaren's base with a little bit of his reinforcements because they were used to fight me, but he also is now almost half of the eco of what Jaren has, and it just goes to show you like through the game that an eco bonus, whatever you can get, is going to be huge. So the English player going for an all-in push on me has to pull back as I finally get my reinforcements in, and at any point in time I could garrison that TC, kill all the spears, and then just send the knights to kill the rams, and I win that fight very single-handedly. And now what I'm going to do here is I realize he's got a lot of spearmen there at the bottom, so I'm just going to start hitting his reinforcements and letting my archers focus down the spear blob, which is going to allow me to just win that fight. Just barely. Like, it's not the level of victory I would like. Like, I'm losing more resources there than my opponent, I believe. But it will allow me to gain control. And because I won the fight, we do see red comes for me instead of Jarin to try and stop me. But obviously, knights will beat unfully upgraded castle men-at-arms. And I'm able to just completely dominate that fight, and Jarin is going to be able to resecure himself here, and his economy didn't get hit too hard here. Like, it wasn't a good situation. He lost, I think, about 5 to 8 Vils, but you're on 2 TC, you have 51 eco, and he's at 35. So
Yeah,
with
like I'm just in a much better economic position
yep,
than Red is.
and
So even though he is causing some very frustrating damage with his men at arms, like it's not enough,
yep,
basically. Like he needs to be like he needed to get devastating amounts of damage, and he didn't. Like it's annoying for sure, but it's not going to break my back at all.
yep.
And
You will be able to
that's
hold
what he
out
needed to
here.
get. Yep.
And at this point,
Um,
I've managed to stop both the pushes on me, which is going to allow my knights to go freely run out onto the map and go do some harass.
mhm.
And I'm going to just rally archers and knights into my base in case purple tries to come at me again. And here, I'm going to say, is the biggest misplay of the game. I had the way I routed my knights, I went opposite of my opponent's vills, where he sent 9 vills to go make King's Palace. If I had sent those up towards purple and gone from right to left instead of left to right, I could have killed all those vills and probably even killed the King's Palace, denying him all the resources from that age up. Which, if you make a play like that in this early part of a game, that will just end the game there. As long as you don't
Yeah, I
make
would
any
say the
big
biggest
mistakes.
misplay was me never re-rallying my traders. Um, like this whole time I've been sending them to the neutral market because it's supposed to get you a little bit more gold. Really, I should have sent it to your Chamber of Commerce. Like we probably should have been trading House of Wisdom, Chamber of Commerce for a little bit safer trade,
Yeah, you
and
could be getting
especially
about
for me.
70 instead of 14. That is
Yeah,
definitely a
exactly.
misplay there.
Also, it keeps getting harassed by the red HRE player.
Yeah,
Like I've probably lost 5 or 6 traders at this point, if not more,
yeah,
because of my decision. So, and then you can see me right now losing all of these desert raiders to the enemy men at arms, um, trying to defend the really bad trade.
yeah.
Uh,
On the positive end, Jaren, the pushing going on and Jaren is defending much better than Purple is, which means
mhm.
that in the grand scheme we are still coming out ahead. With Purple, despite getting only now getting King's Palace, is currently at 37 eco, and Red is at 38. Meanwhile, Jaren is at 58, and I'm on 59. So we have like a 10 villager lead each on each of our opponents, which is a very large economic lead, especially since our opponent did not put Aachen on wood. So he's getting his farms up very slow, which is giving us a huge advantage in that regard. So at
Yeah.
this point, Jaren is continuing to hold against the Burgrave Rush too. So we got to keep
Yeah,
this
the
in mind.
Burgrave Rush did really little to me as a 2TC Ayubid.
Yeah.
Like just because of the um
The
partly because of the Bazaar Wing
yep. You had
letting me correct my eco as needed, as well as also getting me out in Bedouin units to counter the enemy melee, and the Desert Raiders just being able to withstand everything that the opponent was sending. Like I've been able to push off this Burgrave rush, even though I'm in feudal age, and I supposedly shouldn't have any units that can handle what they're doing.
yep. So despite them both being in castle and us both being in feudal, we have a better eco. We actually have stronger armies. I'm over here. I have wiped both purple's and red's army at the expense of losing like half of mine, which is a trade I will happily take. Like if I can
Yeah.
take out all their crossbows and men at arms and make them waste a ton of resources, I'm more than happy to do that. And so at
Hmm.
this point, though, I'm going to probably I go around for the harass. My archers are just farming crossbows and spears. Now I'm probably just going to lose them to the men at arms. Yeah, I pull those back now. And now I'm just looking for picks on red because I want us to maintain an eco lead on our opponent. So, and yeah, Jaren, you're at freaking 72 eco at this point, man.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah,
double
the
TC is
enemy's
really putting
attack.
off.
Yep. Like, and the fact that, I was able to get a second TC up so quickly. Like, I have enough stone for even a third town center, despite having gathered very little stone. Like, I've done almost no stone mining. It's all been just
Bazaar wing.
casino wing. Yep.
Yeah.
So, and just right now, I'm able to grab another half dozen military units to try to defend. Like, I don't have any eyes, or I would know that I could probably just push my army forward without too much difficulty.
Yep. But hey, you are stabilizing it. While it's good to be harassing and proactive, if you can stabilize and gain a huge eco lead, that's almost as good, because the main point you want to be on is you want to be ahead of your opponent in a way that allows you to gain control or to win a fight or whatever it may be. So Jarin may not have an army that can kill mass men-at-arms, but
they'll do pretty decently, quite frankly. I've got 6 Bedouin swordsmen, which will, shred enemy men-at-arms fairly well.
It is funny though. They start to move towards the trade, and your armies walk past each other, and because neither of you have scouts, you just completely avoid
Well,
it.
I did have a scout. I just killed it. Like, I killed the opponent's scout. Red did notice before I did, so he's able to get his army surrounding mine. I should... Okay, I'm building 3 siege workshops. Okay, I do have 3 barracks up, so I'll probably start banning out.
Yep. And while that's happening, I'm just gonna focus my harass. At this point, like, if we look at kill count, I'm just slaughtering everything I can find. Like, the economy of purple is at 51 still. We're at 22, almost 22 minutes in the game. He's at 51, despite being on 2 TC, basically, while Jarin and I are on between, like, 70 to 100 each. Meaning that
I've got 90 eco at the moment.
Yeah, so our economy is just very powerful, very strong, and because this is the strength of Cav. This is why, while French is probably the worst 1v1 civ right now, arguably one of the worst FFA civs, they are probably the best, or at least one of the best, team game civs. This ability to run around the map with knights that just aren't dying because they're healing, and just being able to go out and just find vills and take them out is huge. And now it is time that I repay Jarin the favor. He saved me earlier from the early English harass.
Attack. So
now it's the time for the Arbaletiers, Knights, and Peasant Archers to come repay the favor. Meanwhile, and meanwhile, continuing to just get mass harass on the opponents, their economies are just in the gutter. They're barely able to get above 50, and every time they get above 50, it's just being knocked back down. While Jarin and I are looking at like 100, almost 100
close.
eco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm at 94 eco at the moment. Dandy, you are at 76 eco.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been relatively untouched. Like, my military sucks, but in the back of my base, I'm slapping down a half dozen barracks so that I can get some gulams. I've got 3 barracks up front, so I can get, more gulams. I really should be building some more archery ranges to get both crossbows as well as desert raiders, because those are both pretty useful units against what the enemy is sending towards us. But I think I should have built either barracks or stables, or not barracks, archer ranges or stables instead of the barracks. But I wanted some gulams because
gulams are good. Gulams are good.
They are good.
Luckily,
I just think in this situation, camels would have been better. Like, both the Desert Raiders and the Lancers, I think would have been a better choice.
I would say Lancers are really good here, and honestly, just crossbows would have been fine. Like, I think a crossbow blob, like, you can see the Arbaletiers are just massacring this Men-at-Arm blob. I have my melee armor here, I believe. Do I have that yet? No, I don't. You can get +5 melee armor, and so this, I would have probably not lost a single Arbaletier. And here on my end, I managed to push back the English push with the Mangonel, He probably actually could have won that fight and like really tried to push into my base. He would have lost his army in the end of it, though, pushing into my infrastructure when I had an army that could always pull in to support. Meanwhile, I continue to harass the HRE, meaning his ability to push Jarin now is obsolete. He is still down at 44 Vils. No matter what this poor guy does, he cannot keep Vils to save his life.
Meanwhile, I've got 111 eco.
Yep. And meanwhile, Purple, who is got double TC basically, is still only in the 50s. And me and Jarin are, I'm at 75. I've decided all my eco needs to just go to military. We're ahead. I'm getting Vil kills. It doesn't matter if I'm producing eco at this point. Now, should I have? Yes. That was a mistake I made, and I will take blame. I will accept blame on that. I needed to produce eco. But at this point, I was more focused on just trying to get Vil kills, try to hold my border, and that sort of thing. Because in my mind, if I can continue getting this level of unit kills, which I'm at 194 at this point, I'm thinking I'm ahead. What little micro I have is being used to the best of its ability.
Yeah, you do some really good work with your knights, like just being able to put that ridiculous non-stop pressure on the opponent has left them feeling pretty pained.
Yep. And at this,
and I'm able to boom.
Yeah.
I'm just able to boom like crazy. I've got out a couple dervishes because a lot of my military had been wounded, so I wanted to top them off before losing them, before sending my army out.
Yeah.
Getting ready to push on my side of the map as well, now that I have just a ridiculous eco and dropping down as many farms as I can get.
Over here on my end, I'm just fighting all their reinforcements with my harassing knights. Because they're fully upgraded and they're tanky as hell, they are not dying very easily, so they're farming well more than what they're worth. And I'm going to be able to get half of them away, or a little less than half, and they're just going to be able to go heal up. My opponent has to pull back now. And I didn't want to fight his main force due to the fact that it was all spearman crossbow. And while I knew I could win, I wanted to make sure that when I pushed, it was going to be a final decisive victory. I didn't want to push and then get slowed down. So, and we can see the same thing over here with Jarin. He waited until he had mass Skulons, mass crossbows. He's got Manjaniques, and Manjaniques are insanely good at destroying buildings.
Down. Yep.
You do not need Rams when you have Manjaniques, which is like really good. Obviously, he's going to try and target them down. Now, what Jarin could have done...
I don't have very, I miss micro both of the Manjaniques, so I think I do end up...
You lose one of them.
Looks like I'm able to save one. That's impressive. I thought I lost both.
Yeah, you could have saved both.
I could have saved them both.
But at the same time, it was okay. Like, that wasn't... Losing a one Manjanique to take out half your opponent's military, that's worth it,
Yeah.
We do see. I'm not sure if you can see this right now, Jarin. If you look at my army, my mangonels are in the ground, just rolling.
Beautiful. I love that.
Yes, the burrowing Diglets mangonels. They're very powerful. They're better than normal mangonels because of their low profile. They don't get shot by ballistas easily.
They're sleeker, like more aerodynamic by being that low to the ground. Yeah. So. You have less wind resistance.
Yeah, it's what basically it's just such a quality army here. Just those
it's
ground
what
mages
crave.
Yeah, and now at this point, I see my opponent does not have a force that can beat mine. I will just A move, and there's nothing he can do at this point. We got mass castle knights, archers, and arbaletiers. We have mass mangonels.
And I just started to go up to Imp as well because I can.
Yeah.
Like at this point, and there's the GG from
Purple.
Yep, and I'm pretty sure the GG is going to come in pretty soon from Red.
Yeah.
As
Your
well.
army is
he does manage to snipe.
His.
Yeah. He did manage to get rid of my Manjanique with those Springolds, but my army is just going to just walk all over his siege, and that's
That's
that.
it. That was a tap out from both opponents. And this is where you can see we made some mistakes. We misread what our opponent was going to do, but we made some good team plays. We made some good decisions, and even though we made some mistakes, you can recover from that. Like normally, trying to go Chamber of Commerce against a all-in feudal aggro like English should leave the French completely neutered and unable to play at that point. But with a bit of support from Jarin, where he kept his military busy and off my eco, I'm able to get my stables up, get my knights out, and then stabilize. And then from there, I'm able to get harass on. When Jarin is needing to boom and trying to boom and build a military is very difficult, especially against a Burgrave rush. I can go assist him the same way he supported me. And then with that, we're able to stabilize him. And from there, it's all gravy. There's very little the opponent can do when they've lost half their eco through the game. They've lost their armies multiple times. Both your opponents
Yeah.
are getting into Lake Castle, early Imperial. They got cross map trade, and fighting like Lake Castle, early Imperial, Ayubid, and Lake Castle French is not a fight almost any Civ wants to take. When you got Arbaleteers and Knights and Mangonels, very few things can fight them in feudal, or not feudal castle. And the same thing with Ayubid. Ayubid can just spam Gulams and hand cannoneers and Manjaniques. And because Manjaniques can kill buildings very quickly, he doesn't need ramps, he doesn't need cannons, he doesn't need trebs. He can just
Just
decimate the.
needs the Manjaniques and some Culverins to defend those,
Yep.
as well as a nice front line. Depending, yeah, Gulams are a good generalist unit. If you're going up against like French or Rus, or any other player that's relying heavily on Cav, you can replace the Gulams with Desert Raiders. The other nice thing about Desert Raiders is you can produce those from both your stables and your archery ranges. So, um, if if you're going to if you're fighting up against something where Desert Raiders will be good, like just build both production types
Yep.
and spam them out.
Yep. And be better than Jaren and learn how to scoot and shoot. If you learn to scoot and shoot, life gets a lot better.
Yes, have more than 5 APM,
Yep.
and you'll be able to get the absolute most out of the Desert Raiders.
Yep.
But even with a more like low micro build, you can still get some pretty good work done with them.
Yep. They give the debuff to Cav. They're very tanky, so they trade decently into men at arms. They can chase down running units very well because of their ranged attacks.
Mm-hmm.
They're a very good just generalist unit. The only thing you don't want to do is just throw them into a spearman blob, and against longbows, and they're pretty
Mm-hmm.
good. I think that's it. You got anything else to add?
Nope. That was a good game.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us, and we hope you continue to enjoy our games and the community events and the like. You all take care.
Peace.